Hello everyone, welcome to Pratham Test Prep. My name is Ashish Bhargav and here we have with another episode of daily news analysis that we do from Monday to Friday. So my friends, newspaper is the best source to complete the current affairs. Current affairs, which means what is happening around us. It means there are different ways to read the current affairs. The best source is the newspaper. Why? Because जो भी आपके मैगजीन्स एंड ऑल होते हैं वहाँ पे कंपाइलेशन आपको न्यूज़पेपर से ही मिलती है, राइट? गवर्नमेंट की वेबसाइट से मिलेगी, न्यूज़पेपर से मिलेगी. सो इनकलकेट द हैबिट टू रीड द न्यूज़पेपर बिकॉज it will change your thought process and somehow that we can say it will help you out in order to complete your current affairs. So here I welcome each and everyone, but before we start, please let me know if my voice is audible. Am I completely visible to each and everyone? Am I audible and visible to everyone? Okay. So here we have is daily news analysis. What we need to learn from daily news analysis? What exactly we discuss? We discuss about national news, we discuss about international news, we discuss about economy-based news, we discuss about sports-based news, science and tech, summits and conference, between different aspects of the newspaper. And one more thing that we can say that apart from that, we also discuss about Supreme Court verdict, any amendments, any bills which is in the parliament. So I hope that you guys are doing well. आप सारे अच्छे होंगे. And here is the quote of the day that nobody can go back and start a new beginning, but anyone can start today and make a new ending. And questions of the day, we'll ask you the 5 questions and quick tips. Here is the very first article. Outcomes of COP28's climate summits. सबसे पहले COP है क्या? It is Conference of Parties. It is Conference of Parties. ये आपका COP, Conference of Parties. So what came of the first global stock take at this year's Conference of Parties? Second important point that you should know, that what were the novel mechanism introduced with respect to accelerating green finance, and why did India got signed the health and methane reduction declarations. So you should know the story is so far. If you talk about the background of the story, the 28th session of Conference of Party. This Conference of Party is the 28th session of Conference of Party. That is a annual convening country signatory to UNFCCC. My friends, what does means UNFCCC? Which means United Nations Framework Convention on Climate Change, that happened on climate change, that happened in Dubai this year, because COP happening in Dubai this year. So the negotiation encompassed mitigation efforts, adaptation strategy, financing mechanism, and the role of developed countries. What happened with respect to the loss and damage fund? Following the agreement reached at COP27 that to create loss and damage this year, and it was dedicated to negotiation on fund management and financing. So however, सिर्फ only mergers जो की गई है यहाँ पे, इसमें कितने around $790 million that has been pledged so far a new nation despite the corpus required $100 billion. It means that what about the global stock take? Global stock take का मतलब है GST की बात हो रही है यहाँ पे in short. So UNFCCC के according GST enables countries and other stakeholders to see where they are collectively making progress towards. और जो बाकी कंट्री में जो भी डिसीजन है उसके पीछे COP28 को लेके, that transition away from fossil fuels that was occupied with the ambition to triple renewable energy capacity by 2030. So 20 से ज़्यादा देशों ने जो इसके ऊपर प्लेस्ड किया है ट्रिपल देयर न्यूक्लियर एनर्जी कैपेसिटी, बिकॉज सी कंट्री के पास रिसोर्सेज क्या है, न्यूक्लियर एनर्जी है और कोल है, बिटवीन डिस्कॉम कंपनीज है. सो डिस्कॉम कंपनी मतलब डिस्ट्रीब्यूशन कंपनी जिसे आप कहते हो. डिस्ट्रीब्यूशन कंपनी मतलब जो से इलेक्ट्रिसिटी एंड ऑल। तो यहाँ पे जो स्टेट का रिसोर्स है उसका कैसे यूटिलाइज करना है विद द मिनिमम वी कैन सी, बहुत कम उस केस में वो करके, क्या नाम है, पोल्यूशन को खराब करके। सो कि COP28 दैट ऑल्सो विटनेस द एस्टैब्लिशमेंट ऑफ इनोवेटिव ग्लोबल ग्रीन फाइनेंस मैकेनिज्म। अभी हम ग्रीन वॉशिंग के ऊपर भी बात करेंगे इसके ठीक नेक्स्ट आर्टिकल में, वो क्या है ग्रीन वॉशिंग। सो द ग्रीन क्लाइमेट फंड जो है दैट रिसीव फ्रेश सपोर्ट of $3.5 billion that along it to finance adaptation and mitigation project in vulnerable region, जो vulnerable sections है वहाँ की बात हो रही है यहाँ पे। So COP20 presidency that also introduced Altera, an investment initiative with an ambitious goal to globally mobilize an unprecedented sum of $250 billion by 2030. So despite these efforts, the available funds fall well short of $194 to $366 billion. How did India fare at COP28? So the UAE Declaration on Climate and Health came into being at COP28 through a partnership of the COP28 presidency with the World Health Organization. However, India did not sign this declaration because reducing greenhouse gas emission. और greenhouse gas जो emission है वो एनवायरनमेंट को पॉल्यूट करने के लिए जो है वो बहुत ज़्यादा अमाउंट में रिलीज़ होती है, राइट। एंड इंडिया जो है, इंडिया इज़ नॉट अ साइनेटरी टू दिस प्लेज बिकॉज इट शिफ्ट फोकस फ्रॉम कार्बन डाइऑक्साइड टू मीथेन। एंड इंपॉर्टेंट टेकअवेज क्या है, जितने भी डेवलप्ड कंट्रीज़ हैं, देखो इसमें क्या है, जो डेवलप्ड कंट्री है उनके पास जो पोल्यूशन लेवल है वो अपने आप को नहीं देख करके जो डेवलपिंग नेशंस होते हैं लाइक अपनी कंट्री, बट इंडिया की बात करें तो उस केस में वो उसको क्या करते हैं, एक तरह से ट्राइंग टू शोइंग दैट कि आप जो है वो पोल्यूशन लेवल इंक्रीज कर रहे हो, राइट। सो वाइल डेवलप्ड कंट्री दैट एडवोकेट फॉर फेजिंग देम आउट, डेवलपिंग कंट्रीज इंक्लूडिंग इंडिया दैट रिफ्यूज अ फेज ओवर implication on incoming growth and development, right। अब ये देखो ग्रीन वॉशिंग है क्या। दिसंबर में UK had regulation to ban advertisement from Air France, Lufthansa and Etihad for allegedly misleading consumers regarding the environmental impact of air travel. This is not the first time that airlines have come under fire or false advertisement about their sustainability efforts and been accused of greenwashing. So before we should know, you should know about what is greenwashing is. So greenwashing is when firms or a government gives a false impression that their products or activities are climate friendly or help in reducing emission. So it may also occur when a company highlights sustainable aspect of products to overshadow its environmentally damaging activities. It means ग्रीन वॉशिंग जो है उस फॉर्म से गवर्नमेंट के लिए यूज़ करते हैं जहाँ पे फॉल्स इंप्रेशन दी जाती है क्लाइमेट फ्रेंडली के लिए और एक्चुअल में होती नहीं है, ठीक है। सो ग्रीन वॉशिंग कैन इन्वॉल्व environmental imaginary, misleading labels or finding or hiding all the facts, right? That is called a greenwashing. So how polluting air are airlines? Currently जो aviation industry है वो responsible for approximately 2.5% of all human produced CO2 emission. So according to UN Intergovernmental Panel on Climate Change 2022 estimates this may seems like a modest contribution but it's set to grow very fast. अब यहाँ पे नेक्स्ट न्यूज़ है आपका बिहार टू डेवलप सीता's birthplace, history and mythology of मिथिला रीजन। यहाँ पे नीतीश कुमार ने जी ने अनाउंस किया 72 करोड़ डेवलपमेंट प्लान फॉर गॉडेस सीता बर्थ प्लेस एट पुनारा धाम इन सीतामढ़ी। हिज पार्टी और उनकी कौन सी पार्टी है, JDU विच इज़ जनता दल यूनाइटेड, दैट स्लैम्ड फॉर द सेंटर। सो उसके बाद बिहार स्टेट बोर्ड ऑफ रिलीजियस ट्रस्ट दैट इज बेस्ड ऑन रिपोर्ट द पुराना धाम वॉज included the center's Ramayana circuit quotes the Valmiki Ramayana and other source to trace Ram and Sita's Bihar link. तो यहाँ पे what are the mentions of present day Bihar in Ramayana? At research और जो scholars कहते हैं उसमें वाल्मीकि रामायणा जो थी दैट हैज़ यूज 4 वर्ड्स टू रेफर सीता एंड हर बर्थ प्लेस. माता सीता जो है हमारी, उनकी बर्थ प्लेस का है विदेही, जानकी, सीता एंड मिथिलापुरी. सो मिथिलापुरी जो है इज एन ऑब्वियस रेफरेंस टू मिथिला रीजन, while Videhi and Janaki are names derived from her father, King Janak, also called Videhi. And Sita herself narrates the story of her birth. She was found in field being of flow by Janak to Anusuya, जो वाइफ थी ऋषि अत्रि की, चित्रकूट में. चित्रकूट कहाँ पे बताओ? MP में है ये चित्रकूट. So Ram and Lakshman are also believed to be have visited several sites in Bihar where traveling with महर्षि विश्वामित्र के साथ जब वो ट्रैवल किया था उन्होंने बहुत सारे प्लेसेस को विजिट किया था. सो एज पर वाल्मीकि के अकाउंट के हिसाब से आफ्टर लिविंग अयोध्या, चित्रकूट वॉज देयर फर्स्ट स्पॉट जहाँ पर उन्होंने सबसे ज़्यादा टाइम भगवान राम जी ने स्पेंड किया. ये हिंदू मैथोलॉजी आप क्यों बता रहा हूँ, क्या ये एग्जाम में आएंगे? आपको पता होनी चाहिए. एग्जामिनर जो है जहाँ पे ऐसे आपको इतनी ज़्यादा वहाँ पे पैसे खर्च कर रही गवर्नमेंट, वहाँ पे इनॉग्रेशन होगा तो ऑब्वियस सी बात है एग्जामिनर उस पर हिंदू मैथोलॉजी के कॉन्टेक्स्ट में आप पूछ सकते हैं वो. और जो उनका सेकेंड स्टॉप था दैट इज कॉन्फ्लुएंस ऑफ गंगा एंड सरयू इन द प्रेजेंट डे सारण डिस्ट्रिक्ट सॉरी. सो द थर्ड प्लेस दैट वेंट टू द सिद्धाश्रम नियर द गंगा इन प्रेजेंट डे बक्सर. और बाद में उन्होंने ट्रैवल किया था दैट इज बाय बुलक कार्ट टू कॉन्फ्लुएंस ऑफ गंगा एंड सोन नियर पटाली विच मीन्स जिसे प्रेजेंट डे आज पटना कहते हैं. So Ram, Lakshman and Vishwamitra crossed the Ganga and were welcomed by Vaishali King Sumati. Then the three later walked down by Ahilya Ashram. And जो मिथिला है that also features during the wedding of Ram and Sita, before which Ram snaps Shiva धनुष bow, मतलब धनुष को तोड़ने के बाद जब भगवान राम जी की शादी हुई थी. So there is a mention about Ram's बारात, मतलब जिसे हम wedding कहते हैं, process reaching मिथिलापुरी जो from Ayodhya in 4 days and returning in 3 days. So Valmiki mentioned Ram visiting Mithilapuri one day, whereas some subsequent version of epic claim he went 3 there after being crowned king too. So what was the geographical extent of Mithila? जो हमारा विष्णु पुराण है, Mithila is described as a place of north of Ganga and south of Himalayas. Abul Fazl in Akbari clearly mentioned Mithila as one of the Parganas administrative division, marking its location and spread, which included the present-day Darbhanga, Madhubani, Sitamarhi, Muzaffarpur, Saharsa and Madhepura, Supal and some other adjoining areas of Bihar and Nepal. So, which are the birthplace of Mata Sita and the Janki temple of Puran Dham. And recently it was believed that जो जानकी स्थान है सीतामढ़ी में, which was a pond and other regional structures, was the birthplace of Sita. But our research took close for 10 years showed that Janak temples was built a stage around 200 years ago. So यहाँ पे क्या चीज़ें समझनी है. जो बिहार गवर्नमेंट ने सीता की जो बर्थ प्लेस है रामायण सर्किट 1 with the support of other researchers submitted the name of पुराना धाम, जो आप देख सकते हो पुरौड़ा धाम टेम्पल. ये HFSS food view it as a public health imperative. So the consumption of high fats, sugar, salt, जिसे हम कहते हैं HFSS, मतलब ये क्या होता है HFSS, जिसे हम HFSS को कहते हैं high fat, sugar, salt. So the consumption of high fat, sugar, salt foods is one of the major risk factors to a host of health issues that include obesity, diabetes and high blood pressure. World Bank के रिपोर्ट के हिसाब से 70% of all overweight and obese people in low and middle income countries, जहाँ 55% rise in rural areas across the globally, dispelling the perception that overweight obesity is only a problem in high income countries and urban and affluent communities. जो हमारा नॉन कम्युनिकेबल डिजीज है दैट बर्डन इन इंडिया हैज skyrocketed from 38% in 1990 to 65% in 2019. And the global burden है of disease study shows that annually 1.2 million deaths in India that can be attributed to dietary risk alone. India shift in dietary habits. So ultra processed food sector की बात करें in India में that witnessed compounded annual growth rate of 13.4% between 2011 to 2021. As per the world largest producer and consumer of sugar in 2022, the country has seen an alarming surge in consumption of HFSS food. And 50 to 60% of edible salt that we can see, 50 and 50 to 60% of edible sugar, salt and fat produced in India is edible sugar. So in that case you should know about the things is something different. So you should know about 50% to 60% of the edible sugar, salt and fat that produced in India that is consumed by processed food industry. Sales of snacks and soft drinks have tripled over the past decades, or that is exceeding to $30 billion last year, that indicating a disturbing trend in dietary habits. So this not only poses a severe health risk but also impact but also impact productivity and economic growth, that necessitating urgent intervention to curtail the rising consumption of these products. So there is a global trend of utilizing fiscal measure that to combat obesity. Taxation that is considered to be an effective means to reduce the consumption of these products, as most consumers are price responsive towards them. तो उसके लिए केस जो है इसके ऊपर टैक्सेस जो आप देखेंगे यहाँ पे कुछ 16 कंट्रीज़ हैं जिसमें कि डेनमार्क, फ्रांस, हंगरी, मैक्सिको, साउथ अफ्रीका एंड यूनाइटेड किंगडम एंड द यूनाइटेड स्टेट्स अमंग अदर्स नाउ हैव अ डेडिकेटेड टैक्स ऑफ HFSS फूड. मोस्ट रिसेंटली जो कोलंबिया की जंक फूड लॉ है दैट इंट्रोड्यूस अ ग्रेजुअली इंक्रीजिंग लेवाई ऑन अल्ट्रा प्रोसेस्ड फूड दैट प्रोवाइडिंग अ मॉडल फॉर अदर नेशन. इंडिया में देखें केरला हैड ऑल्सो इंट्रोड्यूस अ फैट टैक्स that way back in 2016, which later got subsumed into India's goods and service tax in 2017. जो आप taxation देखेंगे other sin goods such as tobacco, alcohol, the HFSS जो है हमारा जिसमें कि high fat, sugar, salt है, that taxation needs to be viewed as a means for raising revenue but should be seen as a fiscal tool to incentive the industry to reformulate the product more than favor of healthier alternatives and for people to reorganize their food consumption basket in favor of healthier diet. So need a regulator like SEBI for AI. This article is talking about PMEAC, which means Prime Minister Economic Advisory Council के member है संजीव सनियाल जी. And what he said कि India needs a regulator that understand artificial intelligence and pay attention to how it is evolving. Someone needs to be held accountable for AI behavior just as company board members are held accountable. तो इसमें सेबी के टाइप से होना चाहिए. And these things is very important because India that will evolve norms for regulating artificial intelligence. And recently we have discussed about a newspaper analysis that European Union EU also plan to combat the artificial intelligence. So in that case यहाँ पे जो है PMEAC के जो members हैं which is Prime Minister Economic Advisory Council के member संजीव सन्याल जी ने अपनी चीज़ें बताई पार्लियामेंट को. So यहाँ पे जितने भी IT Act है, IT Act 2000 उसको भी modify करने की ज़रूरत है. And here it is legal opinion for Article 370. So Article 370 was a temporary provision for Constitution. Special privileges were temporary, cannot confer rights in opposition with Article 14, which guarantees equality that can be revoked through presidential order. Or against me है the same provision of Article 370 that cannot be used to dilute it. ये हम ऑलरेडी बहुत डिटेल में डिस्कस कर चुके हैं. एंड हियर इज क्विक टिप्स में MBBS पेन सार्क कंट्री को लर्न करने के लिए which is Maldives, Bangladesh, Bhutan, Sri Lanka, Pakistan, Afghanistan, India, Nepal. With the help of mnemonics you can easily learn. Or states in India sharing boundary with Bhutan, Sikkim, Arunachal, Assam and Bengal. Questions of the day में पहला क्वेश्चन ये रहा आपके सामने. UNESCO intangible cultural heritage list में which statement is accurate? Is it obvious? United Nations Educational, Scientific and Cultural Organization that recognize and safeguard cultural practices, traditions, knowledge and skills that are considered intangible cultural heritage. Second question is here the first session of Indian National Congress was presided by दादाभाई नौरोजी. ये पूछा है आपसे. The directive word is incorrect. तो माय फ्रेंड्स, जब भी आपको इनकरेक्ट वर्ड दिख जाए तो आप देखो यहाँ पे ये पहला स्टेटमेंट ही इनकरेक्ट है. तो बोथ 1 and 2 तो नहीं कह सकते. वी कांट से एनीथिंग बिकॉज यहाँ पे द फर्स्ट वुमेन टू एड्रेस एन ओपन सेशन ऑफ द इंडियन नेशनल कांग्रेस वाज कदामिनी गांगुली एंड ऑल्सो द फर्स्ट वुमेन ग्रेजुएट टू कैलकाटा यूनिवर्सिटी. तो ये स्टेटमेंट तो करेक्ट है. तो ओनली वन इज करेक्ट. वन आपका इनकरेक्ट है बिकॉज ये दादाभाई नौरोजी नहीं, WC बैनर्जी थे. So Indian National Congress conducted its first session in Bombay from 28 to 31st December 1885 and it was presided over the WC Banerjee. Gas giants in our solar system, obvious B would be the answer. Gas giants are large planets that compose mostly of gases such as hydrogen and helium with a relatively small rocky core. And the gas giants of our solar system, Jupiter, Saturn, Uranus and Neptune. Cloud seeding to promote the formation of ice crystal in cloud. तो वो आपका क्या है? HEI, which is silver iodide. And the last question, प्रधानमंत्री G1 योजना aims to, और ये किसके लिए है? C option है. That further provides financial support to integrated bioethanol project to set up second generation 2G ethanol project. So my friends, this is all about the session and I hope that you enjoyed the session a lot. If you have any questions regarding this, please let me know in the comment section. And make sure if you are new in the channel, please subscribe our channel and do not forget to press the bell icon so you will get the notification of all our Pratham Test Prep mentors. Stay tuned. We'll meet you tomorrow. We'll meet you in the next week on Monday and enjoy your weekend. Till then, bye-bye and take care. Thank you so much for joining with us.